Dear friends, this Vestry report couldn't be later if I tried, but at least it's called the Easter Vestry report, so maybe Easter isn't a bad time to send it. I have found composing this Vestry report extremely difficult, as it covers not one, but the past 2 years, in which so much has happened. I have had to put in a lot of extra work, trying to make it available as a written document, as well as a digital slideshow. People tend to take in more through the video, but for those with limited or no digital means, and for record purposes, the written document covers the same material. For the year 2020, one could just say, nothing to report, COVID. But that is not really the case at all. On the one hand, everything came to a sudden standstill when COVID hit us. No sooner had we elected our new councils for 2020 when the whole country, including the churches, went into lockdown for what we all thought would be about 3 weeks, but turned out to be at least 6 months, with various levels of lockdown going up and down ever since. But the church never went away during COVID. Where Christians pray, God is active, and many hearts were moved with compassion as people came forward with donations for the COVID fund, both in cash and kind. These were truly lifesavers. One family donated over 300 tins of food and made a huge cash donation. Others gave what they could every month, consistently, and kept doing so until very recently. Some of our farmers donated fresh produce. A group of ladies from the Mothers' Union at the Lenyenye and Baobab congregations brought a whole lot of groceries, and we managed to help a few families who had lost their jobs or were being paid lower salaries. Thank you, thank you, thank you. The clergy, who also had to abide by lockdown restrictions, had to learn new skills for which they were never trained, and we had to be really creative in trying to keep in touch with our parishioners, as well as keeping some form of church going during that time. We had to think out of the box and learn very fast about making videos and using technology more effectively. For many months, I walked up to the empty church at St. Peter's every day at midday to ring the bell, a practice we began then and still continue every day. And then I went into the church to deliver a daily video message of encouragement and to pray, and I longed to see the people return. As the months went on, sermons, services, prayers, and all kinds of sharing continued over YouTube and WhatsApp groups, and these are still active. Well done to all the clergy and laity who rose to the challenge of learning to use the technology and did things online when we couldn't meet, like learning to make palm crosses at home, making our own pancakes at home on Shrove Tuesday, and participating in a Passover dinner and sharing their pictures online so others could see them. Also, those who shared testimonies occasionally and even ventured to participate in the Advent words at the end of 2021. We learnt how to use Zoom, and so baptism and marriage prep and counseling sessions went ahead using this platform. We even had a ladies' breakfast on Zoom, to which we invited Jane Lloyd. Why didn't we think of that before? Most council meetings now happen in the comfort of people's homes, using Zoom, saving travel costs, time, and lives by staying off the roads. We still have some issues with data and connectivity, and we need to try to overcome those. The digital platform is not going away, though some meetings will still happen physically. These options were there before, but we weren't using them. God has used the pandemic to get us all on board for a new future. Don and Susan Elliott have done a wonderful job at St. David's in Mojaji's Kloof in getting the worship services jacked up with the introduction of a sound system and data projector. They managed to run a youth alpha for Letaba and Baobab, resulting in the preparation of 7 young people for confirmation last year, some of whom are now training to be lay ministers in their chapelry. Through their ministry, they have also managed to grow the congregation at St. David's. Well done to all at St. David's, and welcome to all who have either joined the congregation for the first time or have become active again. This honors the Lord, who delights in the praises of his people. So a lot has happened, and we have turned a complete corner in the way our churches operate now compared to pre-COVID. The video camera is now a permanent feature at every service at St. Peter's. Pew leaflets are no longer printed, but sent out on WhatsApp every Saturday evening, and much of our worship now happens using YouTube music, so that we are not so very dependent on having musicians who seem to be in short supply. Debogo Respito, who is doing her curacy with us, has been a great help in this regard, as she is very tech-savvy. She is also the diocesan youth co-chaplain and sends out a WhatsApp message each week to the young people. They even managed to hold a physical youth event at St. Peter's in November 2021. The other side of the coin, pardon the pun, is that there has been a price to pay, financially and in the drop in attendances since the churches reopened, especially at St. Peter's and St. Matthew's. Some parishioners lost their jobs or have had to take a drop in income, and the church has not been spared either. Most parishioners will have read the correspondence I put out last year regarding the church's finances, so I won't repeat the obvious. But I do just want to say thank you again to those who have kept up their pledges and those who have started pledging. This has been our lifeline. This year, the stipendiary clergy received a 5% increase on their 2020 stipend, and therefore are still only receiving 80% of what they would have been getting, but for COVID. But we are not complaining and are grateful that we are still able to keep our church going. Let us just keep in mind that biblically we should all be tithing. If every congregant who earns anything tithed, we would not be sitting in the position we are in now. Nevertheless, God remains in control, and I believe that He has been doing something during this time to get people's attention and to revive the church in ways most of us never dreamed of. The secret is to harvest the benefits and not to be tripped up by the obstacles. So I would like to thank everyone who has hung in there, those who have prayed faithfully, those who have done whatever needed to be done, the clergy, the wardens and councils, Sunday school teachers, lay ministers, Wendy in the office, and anyone whom I may have omitted to mention. With your efforts and God's grace, we have survived a very difficult time. Life is beginning to feel normal again as we slowly but carefully return to having fellowship after church and other activities. We even managed a pancake evening this year on Shrove Tuesday, and what fun it was to begin to do something that felt relatively normal again. In closing, I would like to extend my condolences to everyone who lost loved ones during this time, either from COVID or other causes. Our diocese lost more than 10 clergy in the past 2 years. our own dear Reverend Thomas Rapallo being one of the first to be taken from us in July 2020 and is sorely missed. Also Reverend Jeanette Deeks, who passed away in December 2021 after becoming very frail for the last year or two of her life. May they and all others, and there were many, who passed away in this time, rest in peace and rise in glory. And that concludes my Vestry report. May God bless you all.